Hello again, I am Blunty and I'm here today to talk about the NSZ-GS7, a really boring name for something that Sony preferred to call on the box of the thing, the Internet Player with Google TV, or Sony Internet Player with Google TV, I guess would be the full and complete way to refer to it. Another boring name, but at least that one is very, very descriptive of what it does. Alrighty, now just before we get into the review proper, I just want to address what is Google TV, for those of you unfamiliar, because the last time I mentioned it in the comments somewhere, someone was like, what the hell is Google TV? Well, it's an Android-based device, like an Android phone, but it's in a box that you connect to your TV, and then it connects to the internet, so you can put down movies and videos, and music, and pictures, and images, and websites, and do this, and play games, and do this. It's basically everything you can do on an Android handset, but on the big TV, the big screen experience, the what they call the 10-foot viewing experience. So then, regardless of what you're watching me on, be it a handset or your TV or a computer or whatever, let me explain to you exactly how much I loved the internet box streaming Google TV Sony thingy GS7. Now then, the hardware is simple and comes packed inside Sony's standard piano black sheen, which, yes, as usual, is a poor choice. I mean, it looks beautiful, but it collects dust and smudges like a CSI agent with OCD. Anyway, it's plain and elegant, nothing but a single white power light on the front. Around the back are the inputs and outputs you'd expect. HDMI in and out, optical audio out. We'll come back to the IR blaster port in a little while. An Ethernet jack in case you'd like to go wide instead of using the built-in Wi-Fi. And a couple of USB ports for directly hooking up thumb drives and hard drives full of media. Just before we get to the interface and functionality demo, yes, I know the screen cap is jittering. No, the unit itself does not do that, of course. It's just my lame-ass MacGyvered screen cap setup is dying. Please don't harp on about how annoying it is in the comments. I know, just deal with it like a grown-up, okay? Okay, so the user interface is simple and easy to navigate. You'll get a row of app launcher icons you can customize with your most used and favorite apps. There's a little notification area for info updates. And much like the handset flavor of Android, you'll get an app drawer where everything else lives. It comes with a fistful of apps ready to go. Which ones are there will vary slightly depending on where you are in the world and what services are active there. And of course you can pop into the Google Play Store and snatch up a bunch more apps for many and varied things. Navigation via the remote is nice and easy, using either the D-pad or the touchpad that works just like the one on your laptop. Depending on what you're doing, one can be better than the other for different kinds of things, and both work very well, and you can switch and move between either one at any time. The rest of the remote is, well, remote-y. Buttons and all the common stuff you'd expect, even a few controls for your TV and amplifier so you don't have to switch remotes around too often. And that's where the IR blaster comes in. Because Sony's remote uses radio frequencies, not infrared, you have to use this little thingy here plugged into the back of your box to send infrared signals to your TV and amplifier to control them. It's a little clumsy, but it works perfectly. Back to the remote, it's got another trick. On the back is a full QWERTY keyboard for entering sign-in details for various web services or using the Chrome web browser and the like. It's a bit spongy for my tastes, but it is quite usable. I wouldn't want to write a blog post on it, but for simple stuff it gets the job done nicely. The remote even has a 3-axis motion sensor in it. All the Google TV apps have been written with the lean-back experience in mind. Customized interfaces with nice big elements to make life easy. As you'd hope and expect, media playback through a bunch of sources was smooth and flawless, including, of course, YouTube. Slap your thumb on the home button and the display will dim and continue to play your content, but bring up a little quick bar thingy so you can check a notification or widget or switch to another app. Streaming live video direct from websites like TwitTV works without a hitch too, even though TwitTV does have dedicated apps, but never mind, I'm just proving the point here. Although I must say, scrolling around websites is just terrible. It's chunky and slow to respond, and generally a big pain in the ass for all but the most sparse of web pages. But still, even with the janky scrolling, embedded content like YouTube videos play just fine, and that's kind of the point. You just want to see stuff. You can use media sharing applications like Plex to pull your downloaded TV shows and rip DVDs from DLNA servers from your home network. If you like anime, there's an app for Crunchyroll to pull that stuff down too. And hey, if you suddenly feel in a romantic mood after watching your big giant robot anime, there's even an app that can turn your TV into a big old fireplace, complete with crackling logs and mood music. Or maybe you're more into the smooth jazz and crashing waves, moonlit night kind of person. Yeah, it's got that covered too. By now you're starting to get the point. There is a whole bunch of stuff you can do with an Android set-top box, everything from being incredibly useful to incredibly cheesy. Of course, it can tie into other Google services like Google Plus and Picasa, so you can stream your photos and videos direct to your big screen from there too. In short, I couldn't think of anything I'd want to pull in from the internet or my home network that this thing couldn't quickly and easily accommodate me for. One of the best bits though is you can pipe in any other set-top box, Blu-ray player, or even something like an Xbox through the unit and access that content without ever leaving the Google TV interface. In my case, this is especially useful as I watch a lot of content from the Foxtel on Xbox Pay TV service, and having it piped through the Sony Internet Player makes it so much faster and easier to switch between my content sources. You can even use a picture-in-picture mode to watch your TV or whatever while surfing the web, or using the IMDb app to look up the cast of whatever you're watching, or twittering about it, or whatever you want to do. Naturally, as with anything internet connected, it's got its very own Twitter app on there too. You can even game on it, although because the Google TV interface runs on top of an older Android version, the selection of games specifically made for the Google TV is a bit limited. This Space Invaders ripoff in particular was bloody awful, especially trying to play it with the remote. But if you do like gaming and you happen to find a game worth playing on this thing, here's a neat trick. Using an app on your iPhone or Android handset, you can use it as a gamepad. Yes, it's all touchscreen of course, but it's pretty usable for quick blasts. And in fact, this app also recreates everything else the remote can do. It even has a selection of different custom interfaces depending on what you like doing best. Buttons, D-pad or touchpad, and of course text input. You can even throw web pages to and from the app to the set-top box. And this ability to use my phone as a remote control came in very handy a few times, because for some reason the remote lost sync with the set-top box a few times during my test period. I had to reset the connection manually with a little pinhole button on the bottom of the unit. Very frustrating, but hopefully just a little glitch that can be addressed in firmware. That said, this random pain in the ass where the remote kept forgetting what it was connected to every once in a while was the only annoyance I had with the hardware, and indeed the entire experience. So there you go, that's Sony's Internet Player with Google TV thingy box, TV set-top box, set what's a doodle. Now, I've got to be honest with you guys, I never thought I would find much use for a Google TV set-top box device thingy. I mean, I know there is a market out there for them, they do a very interesting thing, but I'm a turbo geek, and as a turbo geek, I do it the awkward way. I have a dedicated computer connected directly to my TV at all times, and I access that via screen sharing from my couch from my other computer and control it that way through the desktop interface, and I can do all the stuff that Google TV does through that. And I thought to myself, why would I need a Google TV device if I can do all that already just with the computer hooked up directly? You wouldn't think it'd make that big a difference. Same content on the same screen through a slightly different interface dynamic, but it makes a huge difference into the way I wound up using it and the amount of content I discovered because of it, just exploring around the interface, and because of the way it's designed to encourage that kind of exploration and, oh, what's next, I'll switch over to that app next. And I found myself, when I sent the review unit back, I reached for the remote, oh, that's right, I sent the damn thing back. I'm probably going to have to get one of my own, because going back to doing it the old nerdy way with the computer and everything, it's fine, I can get the same content, but it's not the same experience. And I miss that experience. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time.